Welcome to the Weekly Roar, coming live from the Lion's Den, helping new managers become great leaders and awesome bosses. And now, here's your host, Greg Storch.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekly Roar! Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of believing in yourself. And I'm going to share some ways that you can start to build your self-confidence. But before we get started on that, so my name is Greg Storch. I am the founder of Lion Enterprise, a leadership development and coaching business. I'm a certified speaker, coach, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, and of course, a certified professional coach. You can catch this video, the replay, and all of my other videos. I think there's like 30 of them now. You can catch them all on my website at www.lion-enterprise.com. You just go to my webpage. Up at the top is a horizontal menu bar, and there's the Lion's Pride Library. All right, let's just jump right into this, and that way we can wrap up early and get on our merry way. All right, so what is it? What is it that makes some people more successful than others? And why is it so important to have self-confidence in order to succeed? If you're asking yourself these questions, then you're asking the right ones. I think some people believe that success is achieved because of resources that are available to certain people, or because of their backgrounds or their connections, right? There are even some people out there that might chalk up success to just plain dumb old luck. You and everyone joining me would all agree that luck has nothing to do with achieving success. Some of these things may be contributing factors to success, but I believe one of the most important factors that makes a difference between successful and unsuccessful people is the ability to believe in yourself. How much of what you achieve will depend a lot on how much you believe in your abilities. And it's funny because most of us, and it includes me, when I say us, I'm in that group, we can lack self-confidence. And we lack it during the times when we need it the most. Instead of having unshakable confidence, we let worry and fear and doubt and our own insecurities get to us. Those things are designed to just make us believe that we're not capable of achieving, but everybody defines success differently. But it doesn't matter how we define our own success. Having self-confidence is the key to achieving whatever it is that you've defined as being your success. You see, confident people inspire confidence in others, an audience, their peers, bosses, customers, their own friends. And gaining the confidence of others is one of the ways in which a self-confident person finds success. So anyway, the good news is that self-confidence really can be learned and built on. And whether you're working on your own confidence or building the confidence of other people around you, I promise it will be well worth the effort. So listen, your level of self-confidence can show in your behavior, your body language, how you speak to people, what you say. So in prep for this, I found a comparison chart of confident behaviors versus low confidence behaviors. And as I read through these, what I want you to do is kind of gauge yourself. Ask yourself which thoughts or actions you recognize, which ones are me? Where do these resonate? Confident behavior, doing what you believe to be right, even if others mock or criticize you for it. Whereas somebody with low self-confidence They govern their behavior based on what other people think. So where do you fall in there? Another one is being willing to take risks and go the extra mile to achieve better things. That's a self-confident person. Somebody with low self-confidence, they stay in their comfort zone. They fear failure, and so they avoid taking risks. Waiting for others to congratulate you on your accomplishments. Whereas somebody with low self-confidence, extolling your own virtues as often as possible to as many people as possible. And then the last one was accepting compliments graciously. Their behavior is accepting compliments graciously. Thanks, I really worked hard on that prospectus. I'm pleased you recognize my efforts. That's something they would say. Somebody with low self-confidence would be dismissing compliments offhandedly. Oh, that perspective, that was nothing really. Anyone could have done it. I read these things again so you guys have the ability to gauge where you might be at on the scale of confident behavior. As you can see, or as you can hear, I should say, having low self-confidence is destructive. And it really comes from a negative place. It's a negative mindset. Confident people are generally positive people. They believe in themselves and their abilities. So you can obviously see how this could play a huge role in your success. One of the first quotes that popped into my mind was the quote from Henry Ford, and I say this all the time: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. See, it's all about that positive mindset. So I really believe that that type of a mindset comes from having strong self-confidence and believing in yourself and what you're capable of doing. Because at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, who else will? If you don't believe you're going to succeed, then how on earth is anyone else going to believe that? And I just wanted to say something about self-worth. You don't have to prove your worthiness. It isn't something you earned. You were born worthy. You gotta start believing that. And if you were born worthy, then successes and failures throughout your life, they don't have the ability to subtract or add to your worthiness. You already had it at birth. So anything that occurs after that can't add or subtract from what you've already had. And here's another thing I wanted to say about self-worthiness. Don't compare yourself to others. It's a total waste of time and energy. I talked about this before. You know, with social media, it's so easy to compare everyone's highlight reel to your behind the scenes. And you know as well as I do, that's like comparing apples and oranges. It doesn't matter how you compare to others because your worth is already there. You're not going to get your worth from that comparison. You're enough just as you are, right here, right now. Anyway, while I was talking, I was thinking about that Baz Luhrmann speech, everybody's free to wear sunscreen. Have you guys ever heard that one before? If you've never heard of everyone is free to wear sunscreen, Google it and check it out. And there's even a version that has music put behind it, and it's phenomenal. In his speech, he does a great job about warning of the hazards of comparing yourself to others, among other stuff. Even at one point, he's like, don't read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. If you or someone you know needs to work on building their self-confidence, I want to share a few tips on how they can do that or how you can do that. These things are not only going to help you build your self-confidence, but they'll contribute to building success. So here are 3 steps to building a stronger self-confidence. And like I was mentioning, I kind of likened these to getting ready to go for a run. Now, I know not everybody likes to run, but I think it's a safe assumption to make that we've at least all done it at one point in our lifetime, whether we like it or not. So it can't be too foreign of a concept, I hope. The 3 phases that I put together to building self-confidence are the first one, stretch out. 2 is start with a slow jog, and then run, Forrest, run. That's phase 3. For the first part, stretching it out. Before you go for a run, you're supposed to stretch. You're supposed to warm up your muscles so you don't injure yourself, right? Same thing with when you start your journey to building a stronger self-confidence. The same thing happens during this journey. You have to get prepared before you set out. So for your stretching exercise in this first phase, you want to first take a stock of where you are now in life. And what you want to do is ask yourself this question: what accomplishments have I achieved throughout my life? Write them down. Make a list. Is it 10? Is it 20? Is it 5? Is it 2? It doesn't matter. It's some number, because I guarantee you, you've had successes in life that you can draw upon. You want to reflect on those. It's a great way to remind yourself that you've had a lot of achievements, and give yourself credit for them. I was on that scale where I downplay it and I'm just like, oh, that was nothing. No, it was something. You should take credit for those achievements. That's going to help you strengthen your mindset and your attitude, and ultimately boost your self-confidence. Now you're ready to start out on your run. You've done your stretching exercise, you're getting prepped, you're thinking about all your successes, you're starting to build a little self-confidence. You're like, yeah, I can do this, right? So now it's time to hit the street, and we want to start out with a slow jog. You're not at a track meet, and you're not in the 220. So don't start out like a quarter horse so you can't finish the race. Anyway, start out with a slow jog. Start moving slowly towards small, short-term goals. By doing the right things and starting with small, easy wins, you'll put yourself on the path to success and start building the self-confidence that comes with each one of those wins. Don't try to do anything crazy. Like I was saying, you don't want to sprint up the driveway and then when you reach the street, you're out of breath and you can't finish your run, right? Set small, short-term goals that will let you do the things successfully and do them well. Those are huge confidence builders. When it comes to self-confidence and building self-esteem, goal setting is critical. And get into the habit of setting them, achieving them, and celebrating the achievement. And that's why I'm recommending you start with small, short-term goals. You don't want to set yourself up for failure, make the goals too large, and keep missing the mark. But listen, there's a tricky part to this. This is where your mind wants to come in and sabotage you. So you have to manage your self-talk. I don't know, you guys probably don't know this about me, but I used to do triathlons when I lived in San Diego. I did Tough Mudders when I lived in Virginia. I enjoy running, and I've put in a lot of miles on the street. And I've encountered this mindset, this negative mindset, tons of times on my long runs. My mind really liked to get me to try and quit. I would start telling myself things like, oh, I'm so sore. Oh man, I'm feeling tired today. Oh, my legs hurt. That negative self-talk always negatively impacted my runs. My split times would be slow, and I could always tell after I would look at my run overall and see all my split times, I could see along my run path where my mind was getting in my way because my splits would be slow. Until I started changing my message. So stay on top of your positive thinking and keep celebrating and enjoying success, and keep the mental images strong. And you guys know about the mental imaging, right? You got to set positive, proper mental imaging in order to achieve your goals. You got to see yourself actually accomplishing it. Detailed. There's a lot more to it than that, but this isn't about goal setting as much as it is about building your self-confidence so you can achieve more success. All right, so listen, it's just as important that you start to learn to properly handle failure at the same time. Because guess what? It's gonna happen, folks. You're gonna experience failures. And don't let those failures or those setbacks totally deflate you and stop you in your tracks. Remember, if it doesn't kill you, it only makes you stronger. Listen to these names: Steve Jobs, Martin Luther King Jr., Michael Jordan. I think we'd all agree that every one of those people were highly or are highly successful. But guess what? Every one of them experienced public failure on a large scale. But they kept going until they achieved what they were trying to get done. Why? Because of their belief in themselves, despite all of their previous failures. Okay, so that was the second thing, was start out with a slow jog, set small short-term goals, and rack up some successes. But also be prepared to handle some of the failures, and don't let it deflate you. Chalk them up as learning opportunities. So this is the third and final phase that I call run, Forrest, run. This is when you open it up, and it's time to open up and hit your stride on your run, okay? At this stage, after setting small goals, achieving them, and then celebrating those successes, you should now be feeling your self-confidence start to build. This is the time where you want to push yourself a little bit. So this is where you want to start increasing the size of your goals. Now you want to set larger goals, but remember to keep yourself grounded so you don't get overconfident or cocky. As long as you keep on stretching yourself enough, but not too much, you should see your self-confidence start to build. Okay, so those were the 3 stages that you can go through to help start to build your self-confidence. And once you have strong self-confidence, you will start to realize more and more successes. Start by believing in yourself first. Remember what I said. If you don't even believe in yourself, why would anybody else believe in you? It starts with you. Listen, there's a lot of people out there who struggle with their self-confidence. It's not just you. It's not just your friends or your family members. And I'm just saying that working on building it will help you see more success in your life. I have a list of some famous people. They didn't have very high self-confidence or very strong self-confidence, but they were able to strengthen it and achieve huge success. I think you're going to recognize some of these names. I won't even say this person's name, I'll just imitate her. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Yes, our very own Oprah Winfrey. She struggled. She had a terrible childhood, raped from age 9 through 14 by her own family members, her fathers and her uncles and her cousins, I believe. And look how she went on to build this empire. John Lennon, weak self-esteem. Marilyn Monroe, really? Low self-confidence? She was a bombshell. Beautiful. How could she have low? But look, she was able to turn that self-confidence around, build it up, and look how successful she was. What about Angelina Jolie? Same thing. Her self-confidence? Terrible. So listen, I just threw out those names because you can relate to them. You know those people, you've seen them, and they're all successful. So there's proof right there that this can be done. You can move your low or mediocre self-esteem or self-confidence, and you can make it better and stronger so you can achieve great success. I wanted to share this partial quote by a lady named Marianne Williamson. If you don't know who she is, Marianne is a spiritual teacher, speaker, and author. And she said something that really resonated with me. And she said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Thank you for joining me. Until we meet next week, remember, be powerful, but stay poised, just like a lion.
Thanks for watching the Weekly Roar live event at lionenterprise.com. If you enjoyed this video, please tell others to join us each week here in the Lion's Den. Thanks again, and see you next week.